Next up, Emeka Egbuka, the talented wide receiver out of Washington, who, by the way, we're really getting robbed of seeing highlights of him because he looked like he was on his way to having one of these Damon Demas-esque springs where he just tears up every event.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Where do you think he ends up?
Well, it's funny too because now with the lack of travel, everybody thinks that the local schools have the advantage, and I think to an extent that's true. But I still see this kid going to Ohio State. And I've talked to him about why does everybody think you're going to Ohio State? And they're like, well, I visited there. I have a real good relationship with the coaches, and G. Scott went there, so people just assume I'm going to follow. He's got a top 7. He wanted to visit all of them. Not sure if he's going to be able to do that. So this goes against the grain a little bit. I think Washington probably has an advantage right now with everybody not traveling. But I think this kid's going to wait it out, and Ohio State's going to be where he goes, and he's going to be just a superstar there, just like Garrett Wilson will be. And, obviously the wide receivers they got last year, Julian Fleming. And,
Oh, yeah, Fleming, Mookie Cooper.
I mean, it's just ridiculous what Ryan Day is doing there. So you can't bet against him for this kid, even though he's from the state of Washington.
Yeah, I wonder how much the coaching change, because now Washington's got a defensive-minded coach, and I just sort of wonder, does that impact it, whereas Ryan Day can sell, hey, I'm going to start really getting the ball to receivers. Although I kind of like, when we talked about this off the air, I don't know when we were together, I want to see the production. And I know Justin Fields does a lot of everything where, he's going to run some. But I want to see guys put up huge numbers like LSU, because at the same time, like, they've had a lot of highly ranked receivers. They haven't necessarily produced the huge numbers like we thought.
They will. Again, you look at quarterbacks. Kids care about quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins was a first rounder. Justin Fields is going to be a first rounder. That's what kids care about. And Washington has not produced a quarterback in a long time. Luke Falk was good.
He was at Washington State. Come on.
Not Luke Falk. Who's the one I'm thinking of then?
You're thinking of the short guy from California who had all the
yeah, he threw like 85 touchdowns.
That was definitely Jake. All their quarterbacks are
Jake Browning. Siler Miles never panned out there.
Siler Miles. What?
Jake, listen, Siler Miles was awesome. Jacob Eason obviously was up and down there. So the quarterback, just hasn't been – it's not as sexy to sell as it is at Ohio State. And Ohio State can even say, listen, we had Joe Burrow and we had to let him go. But yeah. I think they will produce numbers for sure. And Egbuka will be part of that.
Right. And part of it is they do a good job spreading the ball around too. So I'm not saying, Ohio State's offense hasn't been productive. I'm just saying there hasn't been one guy, in my opinion, that really jumps out. But obviously the receivers don't care, and we'll see how that is going forward.